Don't wait for good to happen. Participate in the good. I received these beautiful little quotes from my teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith, and the other day I read this one. Don't waste your time, and I'm adding this part to the quote, but I'm saying don't waste your time in expecting good things to happen. Instead, participate in the good. If I were to receive $1 for every person that I meet or that I coach or that I lecture, for every person that tells me, Paula, you know what my problem is? My problem is that I lack confidence, that I lack self-esteem. And because of that, I'm not going after my dreams. And because of that, I'm feeling small and I feel like I'm not worthy, that I'm not enough. What can I do? Can you teach me how to get some self-confidence? How can I get some self-esteem? And I always say, look, I wish there was a little package that I can give you and say, here's your self-esteem. Just drink it or wear it, and that's gonna be it. That's how you're going to get self-esteem, just by getting it in some formula and then raising your confidence, self-esteem. I wish there was something like that, but there isn't anything like that. And it's a good news. It's a good news and it's a bad news. The bad news usually goes for those, or for my former self, that didn't like to take responsibility. And the good news is for those that are like, okay, well, it's not going to come in a package, in a perfect formula. So tell me, where can I start? Where do I need to look so that I can be resourceful enough to make it happen? So I know if you are tuning into this Facebook Live, you are part of those people that like to take responsibility in your life. And if you're not, maybe you're in the perfect Facebook Live right now listening to this. Today, I am going to be speaking to you about confidence and self-esteem. The first thing I want to tell you is that right now in my life, I love being a speaker. I love being a teacher. Teaching is what makes my heart sing. Now, I remember being in high school and especially in college, something happened. But there were a few events that happened. And if the teacher would say, Paula, it's your turn to present, it's your turn to speak in front of the class, I felt like dying. And they say, when they ask people, they've done this research, whether they prefer to do public speaking or dying. Some people are like, I hate public speaking, so I prefer to die first. But here's the thing, public speaking is so terrifying because the brain thinks you're going to die, especially when you feel like you lack self-esteem and you lack confidence. I used to be those people. I hated it. And you say, well, Paula, how did it happen? And now you're telling me that you're a teacher and that you like public speaking. Well, I had to walk a path in order to cultivate that quality of self-esteem and confidence. Today, we're talking about self-esteem and confidence, and I started this Facebook Live saying, don't expect good things to happen. Participate in the good. And one of the ways that we cultivate confidence and self-esteem is by participating. And what does it mean to participate? Participate means that you take 100% responsibility of your reality. Now, I know I'm not telling you anything new, but today I'm going to provide to you a couple of distinctions, a couple of little things that may shift the way that you see yourself, the way that you take space in this world. For those of you that don't know me or have never seen me in this Facebook Live, my name is Paula Castro, and I am so grateful to be here with you. Hi, Mitch. So good to see you. If you're online, take a moment to say hi. I would love to read your beautiful name. I didn't know that I could see the comments here, but I see Mitch. Yes, the borders are open in November 1st, so I hope to see you here too. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm just going to keep talking, and in a moment I'm going to see if there's anybody else saying hello there. I am so grateful to be here with you guys. So do not wait for good things to happen. Do not wait for good things to happen. Participate in the good. So how do I participate so that I can feel better, so that I can feel more confidence, so that I can feel that I am increasing my self-esteem? What did you do, Paula, to go from not wanting to speak in front of people to loving it? Well, the first thing I did was to take 100% responsibility of me, of what was going on in here. And that is the path of knowing thyself. Especially, and I would say 99% of people have gone through trauma in childhood times. There's a lot of people that I've talked to that say, Paula, how can you explain my subconscious mind about self-esteem, about confidence, when I grew up in a household where I was told I was dumb, when I was compared to my siblings all the times, where all I saw was violence, and I thought that I was the responsible one for that violence because dad or mom left. How do you explain that to my subconscious mind? Because like a friend told me the other day, I get it. Like I've studied what you're talking about. I get it here, but how can I drop it here when I'm feeling inferior, when I'm not feeling good enough about myself? Hiya, Kesha. So good to see you here. How do I do that? Oh, look at me. I didn't know I could scroll down here. Hi, Munti. Hi, Mary from Miami. Hi Priscilla, hi Cred, hi Cam, beautiful. Okay, so in a moment I'll read more. So I was just saying, how do you participate in the cultivation of your confidence and self-esteem and take responsibility when you feel so hurt about what happened? Or perhaps you say, well, I don't remember much of my childhood, but what I can tell you, Paola, is that when I start a job, I'm not excelling. When I want to meet someone special, I always feel so shy. I always feel like I want to die. Like it's just so funny to me. Like I just don't have it in me. I'm an introvert. I'm a highly sensitive person. I just can't do this. And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. I'm not telling you change the way you are in essence, because you're a unique expression of the universe, and expressing your own confidence and self-esteem in your own unique way is one of the most beautiful things you can do for self, and one of the most beautiful acts of reverence for life. So how do I participate in the cultivation of my own confidence and self-esteem? Number one, taking responsibility. Now I hear, Paula, what does that even mean? Well, very easy. Instead of you putting your attention out there, I know mom and dad might have not been the greatest parents for some of you. I know that breakup was really hard, and I know what it means to have your heart broken and not really seeing the light. We honor that. And consciousness will always triumph circumstances. That's another beautiful saying from my teacher, Reverend Michael. Consciousness will always triumph circumstances. What does that mean? You're not only human. You're a spiritual being having a human experience, which means you have access to this intelligence, the infinite intelligence of this universe, however you call it, God, infinite love, spirit, source. And because we are that, and we have egos, and we have memories, and we have these temporary things that makes us things that we are at the mercy of our past, at the mercy of our fears. Because we have that consciousness, we can triumph with our consciousness over any circumstance. Now, how do I do this? Well, the first thing, take responsibility. One of the things that we do is that we get to know ourselves. And what does it mean to know ourselves? Is that you go deep enough within yourself that you find that there is a space between right and wrong. That there is a space where you find wholeness. Now, that might take a little bit. So I don't want you to wait for that to happen. Now, if you ever come to Rhythmia and do the week there, you might find it in that week. I would say, well, there's a big possibility that you will. I think the stats are like 93% that you will. And on the meantime, while you do that big leap of going to a place like Rhythmia, you can still have little glimpses of that aspect of self that know that you're more powerful, that what happened when you were 5, that breakup, that situation at work. And so, because we know there's a little part of ourselves that know, or deep down, when you say deep down I know, well, you go with that deep down knowing. And you ask yourself, what is it that I want? And let me tell you something right now. I'm just getting very excited, but I just want to tell you this. The distance between your highest self and your current self is what's going to determine the level of insatisfaction, anxiety, worry, and fear that you're going to have. The closer the gap, and I have news, we never get to be at the point of completeness because it just continues to unfold. But the closer we get, or the more in alignment we get with the highest self, the more of a sense of meaning we will have. Meaning, purpose, confidence, and self-esteem, they all come together. They start being cultivated in self because you're closing the gap. So here's what we do. We go within, we find that deep down knowing, oh, wait a minute, okay, I understand my past, I still have to go to therapy, I still want to go to Rhythmia, I want to do that. Okay, I know that. And, no but, and what else can I do? Okay, so I know that's my dream. And this is what I do with my clients. What's your dream? What is it that you want? What is it that you really, really want? And then you ask yourself, what is the smallest step I can take towards that direction? I know some of you are like, oh my God, Paula, tell me something I've never heard. Yes, this is common sense, but it's the least common of the senses when we talk about common sense. We must start taking little steps forward. And let me tell you this again, little steps, little noble, worthy steps in direction of what you want or what you desire. Why? Because from taking those steps, your confidence simultaneously will start increasing. And that, my friend, is the secret, not so secret, because it's not a secret. It might sound like common sense, but most of us, and I know it happened to me, I used to feel so small. I used to feel so not enough that being in front of a class exposing made me feel like puking, like that I didn't want to do that. I didn't feel worthy of being there. I didn't think I had anything good to say. Now, I could have stayed, and I did. I remember thinking, oh my God, who am I? And I'm this big, like I'm so small, like everybody's better than me, and all the chatter, and you can stay stuck there for a while. Or one day, you say, okay, this is scary, but what is the little step I can take? So in my case, life gave me a situation. I'm going to tell you very fast. I was living in a foreign country. I couldn't find a job in what I studied. The only job I could find was teaching English to children and to teenagers. And the idea of being a teacher came to me a couple times before I could make the decision, because all I thought, who, me? Being a teacher? Like, I don't... no, I'm not going to go there because that's so scary to me. But there was something in me that you deep down, it was calling me. It was like a faraway voice that said, Paula, say yes. And I could hear, but my ego was so loud and clear. No, I feel so small. I don't have what it takes. Who am I? Oh my God. And then I remember taking because I was bored to death and I felt so lacking purpose because I was doing nothing. I said, okay, well, children, teenagers, whatever. And I remember saying yes to it. The first class, I remember I was sweating. Oh my God, it was the most uncomfortable feeling. Then the second class, it got a little better. the third class is starting to feel a little bit more powerful. And then after 2-3 months, I was on a high. Now, what I discovered is that this was one of my callings in life, to be a teacher. Now, what about you? What about you? What is that thing that you want? And what is the one little thing you can do to take a step forward towards that dream? Noble, worthy acts. That is the secret to increase your confidence and self-esteem and the sense of meaning and purpose about life. And I took these 2 words from beautiful, oh my God, I can't wait to finish this interview. I was watching Jordan Peterson interview. It was really great. And he said that noble, worthy acts. We need to take responsibility. And a lot of what is going on with a lot of people is that they're waiting for something outside of themselves to solve it. It's not going to happen. It starts with one person at a time. Imagine everyone in a society taking responsibility for themselves, for their part, even if it's just a little tiny steps. Noble, worthy acts. A big sense of meaning comes from that, because you're sending a signal to self, I can do this. Yes, we're not denying that pain is there. Life brings many challenges that are painful, that puts us into suffering. And we're not denying that. We're saying, and if I want to close that gap, that makes me feel, the bigger the gap between my highest self and my former self, the more feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, which is a big one right now. Which, by the way, because of COVID, a lot of people say, well, I'm just waiting for things to go back to normal. I'm just waiting to see what happens. That waiting makes that gap go so large. And so a lot of people are putting their lives on hold just to see what happens. Is the government going to resolve it for me? Are they going to resolve their differences? Like, what's going to happen with them? And I say, no, 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 don't wait. Don't wait for good things to happen. Participate in the good. Now, I'm not asking you to do a huge leap, because usually that just scares you. And when you're scared, you get overwhelmed. And when you get overwhelmed, you procrastinate. You want to know why you procrastinate? You procrastinate because you're overwhelmed, because you're scared. You don't procrastinate because you're lazy. If there's anybody in your life that you may judge as lazy, as they don't want to do anything for their life, just know that that person is full of fear. They feel overwhelmed and they choose not to do anything. They freeze. Now, if you want to help them, if you want to talk to them, have them express whatever it is that they're feeling, or you, if you feel this way, just express what you're feeling, and then also go in the direction of, this is what I want. What could be? And you don't have to talk to anybody, but it's always very good to have someone that could listen to you. You can do it in front of the mirror. What could be the one step, one noble and worthy act that I can do for myself so that I can start going in the direction of my dreams? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what increases your self-esteem and your confidence. Now, I'm not saying don't go to therapy. I'm not saying do all the other modalities that we need to do for healing. But don't wait for that to happen. Don't wait to be fully healed or fully clear to start doing that. And sometimes, depending on where you are, I've talked to people that are going through deep depression. I always said, just let's do what the next thing is. So just get out of bed. Just go take a shower. That's it. Just take a shower. Now what else? Okay, now just take 5 breaths. That's it. And what's the next step? And what's the next step? I don't know where you are in this moment. It could be that you've been going through the dark night of the soul. And sometimes you just think, okay, what is the next noble, worthy act I can do for myself? What's the next thing? Okay, I'm just going to go for a walk. That's it. That's all I can do right now. I can't see no more. And then you take that act. And then all of a sudden, that takes momentum. And all of a sudden, you're like, ooh, I'm feeling my own power. I'm feeling that, oh yes, I'm the creator of my own experience. I know a few people that through this pandemic have been thriving. And I always ask myself, interesting. Interesting. These are difficult times. We're not denying that. But how come some people that take a different focus, and that's another thing, depending on your focus is, that's how you're going to see reality. So I'm going to ask you today to place your focus, if this is resonating with you, in asking yourself, what is the next noble and worthy act I can take for myself? I'm going to take a pause right now. It's been 20 minutes. It's 2:22 here where I am, and I love that number, to read some of your comments. Munti says, I am so ready for good things to happen by my own action. Participate. I love that. Mitch, my mom has been waiting impatient and finally gets to come. Oh, November 14th. Awesome, Mitch. That's so good. That is amazing. Your mom's going to have a great time. Hi, Dorota. I'm going to see you in January 2021. Yay, Bridget. So good. Peace and love from Quebec. That's also Daddy's. I lived there for 2 months when I was 16. It's a beautiful city. Lana, hi. Thank you, Lana, for your beautiful words. Thank you, Maria Fernanda. I love the space between right and wrong. I love that. Love is the space between right and wrong. Thank you, Lana. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful quote. Marielis, listen to you brings me peace. Oh, thank you. Hi, Greg. Hi, Greg. Awesome, guys. And for those of you that are watching from my Facebook, I'm going to go there in a moment and say hi to you. Hello, Karen. So this is the last thing I'm going to say. Another very important part in building your confidence in your self-esteem, besides engaging in noble and worthy acts for self, even if it's just a little bit, because the soul thrives when you are in progress, not perfection, progress. And then the last thing I'm going to tell you is stop comparing yourself. Comparing is only good when you're looking for inspiration. Stop comparing yourself. Only compare yourself to your former self. I'm not going to stay too long on that point because I know you've heard this. Just a little reminder for all of us. I know it's hard not to compare. But when you're finding yourself in comparison, just ask yourself, okay, how can I get inspired by this person? And what could be my next step? What can be my next step? I hope you loved this the same way I love to say it out loud. I love you. I am so grateful that you were here tuning in. Hi from Denmark. Hi, Suzanne from Denmark. So cool. Everywhere in the world, people are tuning in. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Share this video if you like it. Share it, like it, comment it. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, I'll come back after this video is not live and coming back to you. Have a great afternoon. Goodbye. Goodbye, Angel.